Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at etrailer, and today we are looking at the Hollywood Rack's Destination 2 bike rack here on our 2016 Nissan Rogue. So the Hollywood Rack's Destination bike rack is known for being lightweight, portable, but also versatile in that it can carry bikes of different shapes and different sizes. So we'll take a look at the way our bike is mounted to this bike rack. So it's mounted at 3 points. We have 2 wheel straps, as well as this third point, which is our frame mount. Now that frame mount has an interesting design because it has a 360 degree of rotation. So depending on your bike's frame, you can move this mount up, down, side to side, as well as around, and that's going to work with your different frames, whether depending on where they are on your bike. Alright, so when you want to take your bike off, you start at the wheel straps. So you press a lever, pull up on the strap, and then you leave it to the side so that it doesn't get caught up in your spikes. So that's one strap, and this is our second strap, and then we come over here to our third strap. Now this can be tricky for some people because you need to hold on to your bike as you release the strap. So press that lever and then push that strap out right over there. And once that is released, you can then lift up on your bike, and then you're ready to go on a bike ride. And then as I put this bike over here, it will be out of the way so we can take a closer look at the bike rack itself. So here we have our cradles. Now here at etrailer, we actually have started calling them wings because of the way they're designed. You can see how they're tilted downwards, and that's to accommodate different wheelbases. You have a strap that goes around. It has a cushion, and that cushion is going to help protect your wheel from extra scuffs and scratches as you transport your bike. But also, when you put that strap in and ratchet it down, it's going to create more security or hold on to your wheel a little bit more. So one strap, 2 straps, and here we have our mast. So I talked about how you have that frame that goes up and down and around. Now you cannot tilt this bike rack away if you want to access your hatch. What you do need to do is you have to take your bikes off, and then you have to lower your mast. So to lower your mast, you need to first loosen this knob right over here, because that knob is holding this stand in place. So just lift up on that stand and then bring that mast down right over there. And what I like to do is I like to use one of the wheel straps and just use that to secure the mast into place with it folded down. There you go. So you can see here that we now have access to our hatch. If we open it up, you get to see how that there is space between our bike rack and our door. Now we're not going to show you right now because I'm going to show you one of its other features, which is that you can fold it up. And you're going to want to do this if you want to decrease the length of your bike rack. So first we'll take some measurements with it folded down so that we can see the difference. So from the bumper of our Nissan Rogue to the end of the bike rack, it sits at 22 3/4 inches. That's actually really good for a 2-bike platform rack. It's a lot more compact than the other bike racks out there, but still a length you're going to have to remember when you're backing into your garage or trying to park into a tight spot. While you're in this position, notice how it also has these 2 reflectors, and that's going to help keep you safe on the road as you drive around. Now we'll also take a quick measurement for ground clearance. So from the middle of the tray, it's 21.5 inches. From the end of the wings, it's 16 3/4 inches. So that's going to be a ground clearance that you'll like to think about when you're going up steep inclines like driveways or hills, because as you drive, your front's going to come up, but your back's going to come down. So notice how compared to the shank, which sits at 12 inches, you have a slight rise, and your bikes are going to be sitting a little bit higher up. I said I was going to fold it up so you can take a look at the difference. So let's do that right now. I'll pull out this clip right there. And with that clip out, we can then pull out this pin. All right, and then good thing that pin has a string, or then it's pretty easy to lose it. And then because we need to put it right back in with it folded up just like that. So rotate this. I'm glad it has a knob because it makes it a little bit easier to tighten down. Now that knob is really important because that needs to be secure so it's not rattling around. And once it is, you then put this clip back in. That's going to hold that in place. Let's take some measurements again. So from our bumper to the middle of the bike rack, it sits at 6.5 inches. Now where those wings are, they're going to be about 11 inches away, as is the end of our mast. So big difference compared to when it was folded down. You definitely want it in this position when, let's say, you're not going to be taking your bikes out for a ride, but you also don't want to take your bike rack off either. You'll also have this in position if you just want to put your bike rack in your trunk, because you can see how small and portable it is folded up. Let's also take a look at the closest point. So that's going to be from our bumper to the end of the bike rack, which would be by our, let's say, our clamps. So our clamp sits at, from the bumper to that clamp, we have about 3 inches of clearance, which is actually plenty of clearance. No worries about this coming in contact with your vehicle as you drive around. With it folded up, you can also see how our rear window is completely visible, as are our taillights. Our backup camera is also open right over here. Now with a Nissan Rogue, you have a 360 degree of view anyways, so there really is no worries with covering that camera. Our license plate is also completely visible with this folded up, which is great because you want to stay not only visible but legal on the road. Now here, looking at our shank, this has a shank that fits 1.25 inches and 2-inch hitches. So we have it on a 2-inch hitch here on our Nissan Rogue. It comes with an anti-rattle bolt and a clip. Now I use it with a lock and a cable lock. I highly recommend getting that set that has both of them. That way you can secure both your bikes and your bike rack. It also has a tool to tighten it down. What I like to use is my wrench with a 3/4 socket. That's because it's a lot easier to use and it's a much faster job. So anyways, with that tightened down, you can see how as I shake our bike rack, I'm really moving the vehicle at this point. And that shows that as we ride along and we hit those bumps and there is rattle on the road, you're not going to get any extra rattle or sway from an improper fit between the bike rack and the vehicle, making for a smoother ride for your bikes overall. All right, so my final thoughts about this bike rack is I really like how small it is and how compact it is. As you can see here on our Rogue, it adds kind of to the sporty effect. We have a decent ground clearance here with its rise up, and you have full access to your taillights. It's fully visible. One downside is you cannot tilt this away if you want to access your hatch. You'll have to put the mast down if you want to do so. So that's just something you're going to have to think about in exchange for this lightweight and compact bike rack. So that was a look at the Hollywood Racks Destination 2 bike rack on our 2016 Nissan Rogue.